This week, the United Nations General Assembly will become the epicenter of global diplomacy, but not everything that matters will happen in the spotlight. As over 140 world leaders converge on New York City, the stage is set for high-stakes discussions on peace, climate change, and artificial intelligence. But here's the twist. The most impactful decisions might just be made behind closed doors. Let's dive into what's on the agenda and what's not. The world's to-do list, ambitious but divided. Starting Tuesday, nearly 90 heads of state, 43 heads of government, and even a crown prince will take the UN stage to tackle some of humanity's most pressing challenges. From ending conflicts in Europe and the Middle East to addressing the climate crisis and the ethical dilemmas of AI, the agenda is as packed as it is daunting. But with growing global divides, the question looms, can they agree on anything? The elephant in the room, the UN's financial crisis. As the UN marks its 80th anniversary, it's grappling with internal financial turmoil. Recent cuts to foreign aid by the US and reevaluations of humanitarian contributions by other nations have sparked a reckoning. Critics and supporters alike are asking, is the UN still relevant and efficient? And this is the part most people miss. The organization's ability to act hinges on whether countries step up or step back. 5 key moments to watch or miss this week. 1. The two-state solution. Symbolic or substantive? The week kicked off with a high-profile conference chaired by France and Saudi Arabia, pushing for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Several countries, including France, Belgium, and Malta, announced recognition of a Palestinian state. But here's where it gets controversial. The US and Israel boycotted the event, arguing it rewards Hamas and complicates peace efforts. Meanwhile, Israel's ongoing offensive in Gaza and settlement expansion in the West Bank raise questions. Will this recognition change anything on the ground? 2. Climate pledges. Who's stepping up? Over 110 leaders will speak at a special climate summit, urging nations to strengthen their plans to phase out fossil fuels. But only 47 out of 195 countries have submitted updated emissions plans, and they account for less than a quarter of global emissions. China and the EU are expected to announce their strategies this week, but the US's absence from leadership is glaring. Is the world moving fast enough to avert catastrophe? 3. Trump's return, America first or alone? President Donald Trump's speech on Tuesday is one of the most anticipated. After withdrawing the U.S. from key global organizations and slashing international aid, allies and adversaries alike are watching closely. Will he announce further cuts to UN funding? And what will he say about the wars in Gaza and Ukraine? Is the U.S. retreating from the world stage or reshaping it? 4. Iran and Syria, high-stakes diplomacy. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian will address the assembly as a 30-day window to avoid reimposed sanctions on Tehran closes. Meanwhile, Syria's new leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa, will make his debut, seeking to restore ties with the West despite his past links to militant groups. Can these leaders navigate their countries out of isolation? 5. The real diplomacy behind closed doors. Some of the most critical negotiations will happen at private dinners, embassy receptions, and exclusive Manhattan venues. With over 1,600 bilateral meetings scheduled, this is where trade deals, peace talks, and normalization efforts could see breakthroughs. What happens in these rooms might shape the world more than any public speech. A bigger question, is the UN still fit for purpose? As leaders debate and diplomats negotiate, the UN's future hangs in the balance. With financial woes and questions of relevance, can this 80-year-old institution adapt to a rapidly changing world? Or is it becoming a relic of a bygone era? Your turn. What do you think? Is the UN still the best forum for addressing global challenges? Or is it time for a new approach? Do symbolic gestures like recognizing a Palestinian state matter if they don't change realities on the ground? And how should the world balance national interests with global responsibilities? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. This conversation needs your voice.